on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. I am very excited about this one today because we're going to be highlighting a plant that we talked about in the past, but I really want to give a lot more spotlight to because I think it belongs in all of your gardens. And I'll tell you why, and hopefully by the end, you'll want to give this a shot. Now, the plant that we're talking about is actually in the plantain family. It is known as Minitina, otherwise the specific term is Herbastella minitina. And this is one of my favorite winter greens. It is by far the sweetest, most tender, and most nutritious winter green that you can possibly grow. Now, we've had done a growing guide on this, but unfortunately the growing guide has really stagnated compared to all of our other growing guides because the desire or the information out there about this plant is just not there. It's not what we consider a market-friendly variety. This is actually considered more of a wild edible that has been actually cultivated just by collecting seeds. You see, these plants here grow wild just like any other ordinary round-leafed plantain does. They're most often seen in dead patches of earth because they're very easy to grow in basically nutrient void or dead soils. They are usually seen in between cracks in walkways or driveways, really rocky soils. Plantains are just an awesome crop because they just grow so well. Now, what makes these also just so superior, not only the fact are they really hardy with just the different conditions they can be put under, but also they are extremely cold hardy. These crops will almost completely overwinter without any protection at all. They're a tender perennial, just like any other plantain is. However, they will die off in Michigan, unfortunately. So what we like to do is give them a little bit of protection, and we'll get them well into January. And that's really nice because when other crops like spinach and lettuce and radishes, what have you, they have all died off by probably December. However, these are actually still producing and stay green and even grow with some protection into January. That means we're getting a food source that is not coming from the grocery store or hundreds of miles away, but is instead coming right from our garden. And that is a major win in my book. Now, the next thing that I really love about it, not only is it just super cold hardy and not only is it easy to grow, but it's also very nutritious. It does not have a whole lot of information about this specific cultivar because there's not a lot of information about plantains in general when it comes to nutritional information. So basically, I like to go off of just regular plantain nutrition. Now, the plantains will have about between 100 and 200% vitamin K, E, C, and even folate, which is it's a very beneficial B vitamin. So these are great. They're also high in iron, potassium, as well as manganese, which is it's a unique mineral that is not commonly found in a lot of your other vegetables. This is also very high in micronutrients. The micronutrients in these are off the charts because of one reason. And one reason why I love these so much is because they're what we call mineral miners. You'll also find this in dandelions. Plants that overwinter very well, that are very cold hardy, that are kind of considered weeds by most people's definition. They are designed to overwinter very long. They're designed to come out of dormancy very early in spring. They're designed to be super cold hardy. And the reason why they can come out of dormancy in spring so soon and last so long in the winter, basically outliving any other crop in the garden, is because of those minerals. Those minerals increase basically the antifreeze capabilities of this crop. I mean, you thought spinach and lettuce had antifreeze properties? Check out this plant. You can get down to 25, 20 degrees. This plant is still just living and loving life. Once you get down to about 15 degrees, it starts to stop growing altogether. It'll pretty much just go dormant at the root base. And then once it comes above that point, it'll start to kind of liven its leaves up again. It doesn't really grow, but it starts growing in actually right around 30 degrees we find. If we have our low tunnel, it will actually begin growing again in about 30 to 35 degrees, which is remarkable given the fact that anything else would stay dormant. So I absolutely love this crop for those reasons, but the final reason is because it's just delicious. Minitina is one of my favorite greens. It has a very amazing texture that you just can't beat from any other lettuce. You can't beat this from like a frisee, your escaroles, your endives. You can't beat that. You can't beat the tenderness from a spinach. You can't beat the sweetness from a butterhead or one of your nicer, sweeter lettuces. These are unbelievably sweet. Now they do get a little bitter in the summertime, but once the cold weather comes, much like any other cold hardy green, spinach, kale, mustards, they get sweeter. These are no exception, and the only exception is that they get even sweeter than all those other crops. These are so sweet that, you can taste the sugars in these leaves, and it's truly remarkable. And that again adds to that wonderful overwintering properties that is just not found in other crops, because those sugars are what prevents the leaves from freezing like other leaves. They will actually wilt and lose their structural integrity until the weather warms up again. And they have just these magical properties that keep them alive. They're delicious, they're nutritious, and they really should be in your garden. So I really hope that you will check out Minitina, Herba Stella, or any of the plantain crops. They're just something that I really want to see people become more familiar with, get in their gardens, and help them put more food on their table for their families. You guys need to be growing this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. As always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home, and we'll catch you all later. See ya.